We're here. We'll start over again. Something. There it goes. There it goes again. Every time I start this, it messes up. But hey, we're Schumacher's Wally World. It's Tony Schumacher himself with the Racy Nut. Welcome back to the show. It's been a long off season. You had a good holiday and everything, right?
Yeah, it was fantastic. And I think all the race teams and the family members get a breather, and it's an important, necessary part of our career. It's abusive, the amount of racing and the amount of time we're on the road. It's hard on the families. So for all the crew members and, Antron, our teammate here, it was nice that we spoke a little bit. And he's like, it's nice to just be home it goes quick. It goes quick. And believe it or not, after the first week or two at home, you miss it. But, man, it's an important part of a structure. Well, let me tell you something. For the kids thinking, I want to be a race car driver, let me put it into perspective. You leave, right? You go to a race, then you come back home to your kids, and you want to be in charge again. It's a tough – I'm gone 250 days a year when I'm on the road racing. That's an awful lot of time.
That's a long time. Now, Lisa and I, we've been doing the show for 21 years, and we have our studio in our house. But we used to have to travel back and forth to Miami, back and forth to Orlando, or wherever the station was that was our main station. And eventually we made enough money to put a studio here in the home, and we can do it from the house. But nobody really understands. Even though I do the radio show from the house, I do a lot of live shows. Like this week we'll be in Daytona. And a couple weeks after that, hopefully you're going to make it to Gainesville. We'll all be in Gainesville. We're doing a 2-hour live show in the Midway in front of all the fans. And the week after that, I got Friday night Dave & Buster's Hollywood, Saturday Homestead Miami Speedway in the pits, Sunday Homestead Miami Speedway in the pits, right back to work on Monday, and then do it all over again. And it's just the schedule just starts getting crazy, even for a radio show. I can just imagine you jumping in and out of planes and flying all over the country, and it's crazy. And the funny thing is, every time I see you, you're still in a good mood. So you take it well. You do take it well.
I tell you, for the kids listening, man, it's about finding something that makes you smile without a paycheck. Paycheck should be the bonus, So I love it. Getting on the plane, it's hard. And you're frustrated when you go and you got 4 in a row and then there's a rain out in there and they stick that. But you got to, put it in perspective. There's some poor guy sitting at home in an office. He goes to work every day and he's got to sit there. I can't do that. I found something I love, man. And you can complain about the little details, but, work is a beautiful thing when it's something you want to be at.
That's why I have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Because one's okay, and the other one I love doing. So the race happens to be the one I love doing. But I'll tell you, since November 17th, when our season ended at Homestead Miami Speedway, and we packed all this equipment up, and we came back home, I started right after that and started on the show and added a second hour for the whole season. Almost finished the deal with Miami. Haven't quite got that done yet. We're still working on that. So we doubled the amount of time, and it's a lot of work behind the scenes. And I can imagine you guys and how much work you guys put in, behind the scenes. And I know you're diligently working behind the scenes right now. But let's talk about Pomona. Mr. Coletta started off right where he left off. Didn't get the championship done last year, but man, he was on fire last year. Came out of the gate swinging, and Antron was saying a little earlier today that's exactly where Coletta usually starts off is winning the first event of the season.
He's done it for 4 years in a row. It's an amazing accomplishment. You start to think, when's the shoe going to fall off here? But he shows up and he drove. I watched. He did a heck of a job, and it's weird for me to be sitting here talking about someone I literally spent my life beating up on and racing against. And, me and him, when you look at our record, and I don't have it sitting in front of me, but we are 50-50. All the championships and all the wins, he's still a lot. That is a good driver and a well-oiled machine over there with the Coletta camp.
Absolutely. So he gets ready to go to Arizona, coming out of the gate winning. Antron and I were talking a little bit about it. I know I want to talk to you about it. You know how Torrance was dominating all season last year, but then he got to the championship, the last races, and he kind of fell off, and he almost lost it at the end because of his stutter at the end of it all. You got to be good all season long, right? You can't just come out of the gate good. You got to do it all year long in order to win this thing.
I've won championships in several different ways. My first one, 99, I won it. I hadn't won a race in my life in Top Fuel, and went to all the way to Dallas with just a few races left. Won that race and one race, and then I've won championships, in '08 by winning 15 races. So I won a championship. The run in '06 was no countdown format. We won. We were way behind, and we came back and on the last run of the year set the world record to earn the 20 bonus points, won the race, won the championship, and then they had announced a countdown, a move to a different format, and the best finale anyone could ever ask for, that run. Now you're going to take that away and say, okay, we're going to do this countdown, and it actually worked to our benefit, and we won it that way. We had a terrible car all year long and came back and won. And it was like a two-tiered countdown. They eliminated some cars and then some more cars for the last couple races, and we won it that way. So I've done it in several different ways. I think the key is understand the rules, read them before the season starts, and because they change.
Yeah, they do.
The rules change.
I'm just laughing because you really got to sit down and read them if you're going to be part of the deal.
Yeah, it's like playing football and realizing you got to fill the ball up to so many pounds before you throw it, or it's not really a valid game.
Sure,
there's rules, right? There's rules, and you play within them, and this is the way it is. So a lot of different ways to win championships. Coletta starts out strong. He needs to have that season where he finishes strong. He had a good one last year, almost stuck by Torrance. He really did. And with Torrance getting penalized for a little scuffle down there I don't think he would have won. I don't think we talked about at the end of the year. Doug does not want to win a championship by someone getting points taken away.
Right.
He's going to win one. He's a great driver. He will win it, and he will earn it, and he will appreciate it, the amount of effort it took to get there.
He wants to win it by beating somebody up out there on the track. That's what he wants to do, no doubt. Okay, so let's go on to the next leg of this thing. Funny car, your teammate there, Jack Beckman, went out there and took care of business, shaking the tires at the beginning, but coming on strong right after that and figuring out what it takes to run that track, which was kind of weird with the weather in California last week, the way it was kind of hot compared to what it usually is in the winter nationals. And they took care of business, and they're pretty much on point. I mean, everybody was talking about Hagen, and Jack went out there and took care of business.
Yeah, he does that. He sneaks up on you. I think Jack's one of them underrated drivers. He's very qualified in what he does. He's won a championship. He's won a lot of races, and he knows how to drive a car. Look, he worked for Frank Hawley for years teaching how to drive these things, so he's exceptionally qualified as a driver. And, when it got down to that last one, it was just fun to watch it because, Force is just, he finds a way, and he drives like a machine. And you get into that final round, and it's like, man, come on, Beckman, is my teammate. But, as a sport, to have John Force still fighting, to be in that last couple of rounds every race, it's unbelievable. That John Force was born to drive a race car. There's people that grow up and figure out how to get a job doing a race car, and there's guys that really don't belong doing it, and then there's guys like that they were born to drive a race car till the day they die.
That's their heart and soul, that John Force. How about Jay Coughlin? Now he made an announcement. About going to retire this year, but he's done that before, hasn't he? And is it going to stick?
Doesn't matter. If the boy wants it, that's just a good old boy, man. Midwest owns a great company. And people love him because everyone that's a hot rodder buys from Jags. And you got Jags and Summit out there, and people are buying from them all day long, and they love seeing him out there. They love seeing him racing. He's one of the best overall racers in not only pro stock, but he can drive kind of anything, and it's nice to see him. Sometimes you got to get back to the family business. That's what he does, So you're on the road again that long. It's hard to keep running the business, being on the road.
Well, the first thing that we did back in, I think it was about 2003 or 2002. The first thing that we did with Jag was, we had him on the show. And then we said we wanted to do a contest and have him send over something so that we could do a contest to give away something that Jag, gave to one of the fans. His people send over a huge mahogany as big as this TV behind me, that big, with Jag's shirt in it, and the whole team signed it. And it's in a mahogany shadow box case. I don't know how much it cost him to send it or whatever, but it made it to Miami, and we had a big contest with it. But that's the kind of guy he is. Every single time I do an event, Like if I go to the Gator Nationals, I'll go ahead and get a hold of Woody, and I'll say, Woody, we need some stuff. Here comes the box. The funny thing is, we get the big box with all the Jeg stuff in it, but it's always got Jeg's catalogs in there because he wants me to give them out to everybody when they come to the race. It's a business too. That's like you said. He's running a business and he's racing at the same time. Great group of guys. Great to see him come out of the box swinging like that and getting himself a win in the first race of the season. Now, you got any stories about Pomona? Because we got about 4 minutes left. I know you always got stuff that nobody else knows, that only Tony Schumacher can tell us.
Pomona's just been, we always go back to the run, but there's been so many other good ones. The year-end party that we have, come Sunday night at the World Finals, when someone gets the trophy and it's all over, everyone goes and changes, and some of the best parties I've ever seen happen are there, and it's usually like Adele Worsham with his nitro margarita maker. I mean, if anyone don't try this at home, man, because you take a 1,000 horsepower engine, right, and you connect it through an air conditioning system to 2 margarita makers, and you get up there and they literally whack the throttle there. It's
God, that's funny.
Yeah, it makes vats of margarita. It's pretty. I've never been there, of course. I always was on my way to church, of course, while they were having that party. But epic stuff. It's good times, and I've had so many great moments there. I mean, 8 times I was the champ at the end of that day. Sometimes before, we'd win in as early as Reading sometimes, but it was always there that it ended and you were getting ready to write your speech and you were getting ready to, to take a breather at the end. But it's also day one, too. It starts at the Winter Nationals. You waited for this, man. You had whatever kind of year you had before, you're ready for that moment to get back in that car. And it's just a beautiful place.
You start. Now, I need to get my butt over there. I have never been over there. I've never been further west in Texas, so I need to get over there one of these days. Actually, I remember you guys used to come down to Palm Beach International, and we had a deal with Palm Beach International. That was part of my Miami deal. But they said that IHRA and NHRA didn't mix very well, and that's why they really couldn't sign with the Racing Nuts because of our affiliation with NHRA. And I said, well, if that's the way you feel, then go ahead. We'll find somebody else. It's not a big deal. So we got to work it out. It's kind of crazy that they're that way. When you guys used to come to Palm Beach International in the winter and do all your winter tests and all that stuff, and it was great. You guys drew a big crowd. A lot of people came down. It was great to have you down in Florida. I wish we can get back to that,
The track was too good. Seriously. The track was so good that we'd go out and run epic numbers. Then we go to Pomona, and the track was prepared so different because it's just prepared different. The stuff you use to stick to the track, it was just different. It was a blast because we'd be able to, make runs all day and then golf in the afternoon.
Right.
It was nice. It was a beautiful place, middle of, West Palm. It was awesome, but the track was good. It would screw you up. You'd go to the first race and you couldn't get down the racetrack. It was just, we had to find a place that was a little more
drier.
Well, just equivalent. Yeah, it rained a lot, but it was a little more equivalent to what we were going to see the first 1-2 races, and awesome place. I just love it. Someday we'll get back there.
We'll definitely have to just buy the whole track and take it over, make it an NHRA track again.
Yeah, let NHRA.
That's the idea. All right, Tony. Well, thanks so much for being on. And Schumacher's Wally World. You want to say it, Lisa?
Wally World.
There goes Lisa. Hey, thanks so much, Tony. And we're going to see the Daytona 500. You got a pick for the Daytona 500 this week?
I do not. I haven't even started to watch it. I'm knee deep in every sponsor meeting I can get in right now. But I'll tell you what. Call me on Monday. I'll tell you who I think's going to win Sunday.
That's just cheating. That's just cheating. You can't say. Call me Monday after the race, and I'll tell you who's going to win. You're too funny. Hey, thanks so much, Tony. Schumacher's Wally World. You're going to hear it every single week, and you can see it every single week on Facebook. Tony, you can share this to your Facebook. I'll turn around and send it back to you so you can send it on your Facebook, get more fans out there for you. And thanks for being on, and we'll see you in the next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks a lot, buddy.
You got it, dude. See you.